What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Mini TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and today, you guys, we're going to be discussing The Penguin. This is season 1, episode 5, titled Homecoming. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week thus far, y'all. We have made it to Friday. Hey, okay. However, you guys are deciding to celebrate, please stay safe out there. So, without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So the synopsis for this one is, with his nascent operation at stake, Oz makes a desperate move to turn the tables. Meanwhile, Sofia strives to build a new legacy for herself. All right, y'all, let me get back to my notes real quick. So half of this show is going to be off notes. The other half is going to be just me watching it as we go. All right, so we begin the episode with Oz telling Vic about a guy that used to ride through the neighborhood in this white Cadillac, I want to say. I think he said a Cadillac. It might have been some other car. I just know it was white, okay? But long story short, Oz used to look up to this guy because he would always come through the hood, okay, looking sharp, riding clean, like he was riding in a chariot. Almost made Oz feel like he could do anything, him and his gimpy leg, okay? He also tells him how appreciative he is of the fact that Vic came back for him like he did. Honey, 10 Maseratis ain't worth that type of loyalty, all right? Now, as he's telling Vic this, he's lighting his car up and setting it ablaze when some of his goons come through, and he informs them of the plan to get the shrooms back from the Maronis and shows them their weakness and their target for his next plan, who happens to be the Maroney son, Taj. So we see Taj on TikTok, y'all. He talking much cash money and flexing for show, okay? So they end up catching him slacking when he's getting tatted and grab him up for leverage. Now, later on, he meets with the Maronis at the prison, and he agrees to let Nadia bring one of her men so they can do the swap, the shrooms for their son. And, as he's walking out, of course, they're pissed about it, but he ends up sliding some money to one of the guards on his way out. He said something to him, but I didn't catch it, but we'll find out what that's about later. Now, as he's walking out from that interaction, he catches the news about the Falcone family being gassed out. Everyone, that is, except for Sofia, Gia, and Johnny. Speaking of, the chief of Gotham is questioning her about what happened, and she tells him that her and Gia slept out in the greenhouse because Carla and her husband were having some type of argument about infidelity. She felt like it was way inappropriate for her child to be there, so she did her cousin a solid and took her out there, per her cousin's request. And the next morning when she woke up, she found the whole family dead. Okay, so if the whole family is dead, then where the hell is Johnny? She tells him that she has no clue where he is. But poor Gia, y'all, we see Gia being taken away and being placed into state custody. That is awful. Now, after she leaves, after, they leave or she leaves, she ends up going to the isolated part of the basement where the mausoleum is. And there we find Johnny in his t-shirt and his drawers. Okay. She wants him to give up the location of the money her father secretly stashed away. But he says, just take me out now because, once I give you the location of this money, then you just gonna do it anyway. So you might as well go ahead and do it now because I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna ever tell you. And she was like, Johnny, you ain't got the balls. And she ends up throwing a bucket of water on him. Have fun staying warm down here. I heard it gets pretty cold at night. Okay. Now, Oz and his homies go to his lady love's house because that's where Taj is being currently kept. And she's pissed at him because not only did you put a target on me and my girls' backs from Sofia, the hangman, but now you gonna have the Maronis looking for me too? Oz, you better hurry up and get this figured out, okay? You need to get him the hell up out of here. Sofia knows that you off the brother. You don't think that she gonna come after me for vengeance because I had a part to play in that too? I'm your alibi. And so he was like, shh, girl, be quiet, okay? They don't know all of that. Shh. But y'all, ain't nothing separating this conversation that they having aside from a thin ass wall that ain't even all the way enforced because it's like an opening to the kitchen with the little dashiki beads there. So anyway, She's pissed at him. You need to figure something out soon. He tells her that this will all be resolved soon. Just be a little bit more patient for a little bit longer. And for whatever reason, y'all, maybe she actually do love this man. She obliges him. Meanwhile, Sophia is down in the family mortuary talking to Johnny, and she's telling him, I said mortuary, that is a mausoleum. Same thing. Anyway, she down there talking to Johnny, and she's telling him that he may not get a gold plate like the rest of the family, but he'll be buried down there somewhere among greatness. And he tells her about her mom. He starts to talk about how much he loved her because, after all, that was his cousin. And he feels like it's all his fault because he was the one that set her up with Carmine in the first place. But, when she got fed up, and told him all the time that she wanted to leave Carmine, but she couldn't as quickly as she wanted to because of them damn kids. See, it's all y'all fault. Y'all the reason that my cousin's dead. That's what he said, not me. He didn't really say that, but he implied it, okay? So he says that the night that she finally made up her mind and she was going to leave him, he was ready and waiting in a car about a block away from the house. He was waiting on her, and she never came. And so he says that he was absolutely devastated by her death. Oh, yeah, word? You said you was devastated by my mother's death? Oh, okay. If that's the case, then why did you continue to work for him as his underboss for all these years, even after her death? And while he can't provide an answer for that, he does offer a solution to her problem. He says, look, I see what you're doing here. Okay. You ain't gonna make it one day out there by yourself. You need somebody in your corner, somebody like me, somebody that can get you into places. Let me do that for you. I couldn't do it for your mama. Let me do it for you. What do you say? Put a pause in it. So then we go to Vic, because as Oz was, giving his pep talk to his Goonies to go back out there and get to work, he told Vic, because Vic was ready to go out with them, he was like, I got a different task for you. I need you to go to my mama's house and get her out of town because it's finna get real. And I need her to be safe. And so he was like, man, I ain't trying to be your mama babysitter. I'm out here trying to become a made man. And he was like, no, I need you to take care of my mama. You're the only person I trust with her, okay? She is precious to me. So he goes out there to go look for Oz's mom. And when he gets out there, y'all, the place is in complete disarray. She got dishes everywhere. She got the TV up loud. He can't find her at first. She got sticky notes all over the place. And I know the sticky notes are usually for if she has lapses in her memory, of course, this is to help her maintain her routine and stuff. And so once he walks further in, he mutes the TV as he's calling for her. She doesn't answer. On the stove, she's got something boiling. It's hot. He turns the stove off and he finds her in this room. And so she was like, oh, you finally made it. And so initially she was talking to him like she thought he was Oz. And so when he finally told her who he was, she was like, oh, damn, he ain't never got no time for me. So he always send these strangers out here for me. And so he tells her, no, he's got a plan that he's trying to execute. And so she said, what are you talking about? He said, oh, he's got a plan to take out the Maronis. And she said, correction. He's setting them up to take out the Falcons. They're the bigger fish. And so Vic tells her, no, the Falcons are dead. And so initially she was like, tell me who did it. And he was like, Oz did. And she was like, you wouldn't lie to me, would you? And he was like, no, he actually did it. And so she was like, okay, great. Now we'll fast forward a little bit. No, we're not, because then I'll forget. So as they're having that conversation, she seems like she's got a boost of energy in knowing that her son Oz is one step closer to making their dreams become a reality for them. We then find out what that money was that Oz gave to the security dude. So the security dude came up in Maroney's um, cell and was like, Oz told me to give you this. Stab, stab, stab. Or he stabbed him once. And that's all we saw. So then we come back to Oz and his homie. They're rolling up to the meetup spot, to the warehouse, where Nadia and her goon is supposed to be waiting for him to drop off Taj in exchange for the shrooms. So they get out. And of course, they have their small talk, this, that, and the third. Taj ends up coming out. He is drenched. I'm thinking, damn, did I throw some water on him? He ain't got no shirt on, y'all. Okay, he is shirtless. The headphones is gone though, but he is drenched. And so as he's walking up to his mama, because she was like, take that tape off of him. I want to make sure that he's safe. And Oz was like, Nadia, he's fine. Why you tripping? So he never removed the tape from him. He clearly wanted to say something to his mama, but he couldn't. His homie ends up trying to get in the car with the shrooms, and then there's this big shootout. We knew that Nadia was going to bring guns because she thought that Oz was going to bring his. Long story short, y'all, Oz goon ended up taking out everybody. Everybody that is except for Nadia and Taj. Now, while the shootout is happening, or after the shootout happens, here come Oz. Taj done made it to his mama. Here come Oz with the lighter. Y'all, he let the lighter drop. And we see this trail leading up to Taj. Y'all, he done doused him with something. It couldn't have been gas, because if it was gas, I would think that she would have smelt it, right? So maybe it was alcohol. Vodka, like straight up vodka? Probably. Odorless? Yeah. Probably vodka versus gas, because I would think that she would have smelt it, right? Before he even got to her. So anyway, Taj and his mama go up in flames. They did. Now, him and his homie, they take the truck full of shrooms and they get out of there. Now, when they make it to a safe spot, he hop out, right? Because it's either early the next morning. It's got to be early the next morning. He hop out. He go to look at the shrooms because I think the sprinklers had started to come on once Taj and his mama had got set on fire. So he gets to the shrooms, and y'all remember when Sofia had took him first to go see what the shrooms was all about, you couldn't even touch them, because if you touched them, then they would go bad. Well, turns out the whole truckload except for 2 buckets are bad. This was all for nothing. Sophia's gonna be pissed. He was doing all this to try to get back in her good graces, but now he's a dead man. Okay, so he ends up getting a phone call from, what's his name? From the Maroney dude. I don't know his first name, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll figure it out. From Maroney, because Maroney survived. Yeah, he did the security guard in. And because the security guard was stupid enough to go in there with his damn keys on him, y'all, he is now out of jail. He done busted out of jail. How? How, Sway? The security dude was a lot shorter than him, so there was no way that he could have fit that man's uniform. So how did you walk up out of there? Did you take some people out? I just need to know that part of it. But either way, y'all, he's out. So now he's like, man, you're cooked. Oh, speaking of cook, you may want to call your wife and see if she answers. Click. So as soon as he get off the phone with him, he knows that he's in real hot water. So he ends up calling Vic and tells him, hey, look, I just need to know if my mama is safe. Y'all, poor Vic. He took forever to get it out. He was like, damn it, Vic, spit it out. He was like, she's fine. I'm sorry, y'all. He was like, she's fine. She's fine. And he says, okay, well, I need you to grab that gold bag that's already packed for her. Grab all her medications. I need for you to get her out of here. And Vic is not understanding what went left. What happened, Oz? He ain't got time to explain. Just get his mama the hell out of Dodge before both of y'all be done for, okay? And so Vic was like, I'm not gonna mess this up. I got this, Oz. I sure hope you do, honey, because he don't play about his mama. He'll see you dead before he sees something happen to his mama. So Sophia is in her parents' room, or maybe this is just her mom's room. And she is just trying to smell the scent of her mom. She misses her so much. This is a new beginning for her. And so as she's going through her wardrobe, all of those furs in there, they were nice, y'all. We see Julian come in. And so Julian says, look, you were right. Okay. I saw what you did on the news, and whatever that was, I know you did it for yourself. I know you did that because that's what you needed to do in order for you to move on with your life. And I'm proud of you, girl, but how can I get in on the action? I want to feel whatever you felt. Okay? Whatever your next move is, I want to be a part of it. Just tell me what I need to do if you will have me. And so the next move is her coming in, and she is taking her seat at the throne, at the head of the table, y'all. She makes an entrance in her mom's fur, and Johnny calls the room to attention and sits down as she takes her rightful place with Julian standing towards the back of the room. Now she says, look, I'm going to just tell y'all now, I killed the whole family. Okay, I gassed them. I did it. They're all dead because of me. Okay, but the reason that I'm here and the reason that I want to do this now is because of my mother. She was silenced, as was I, but she was a force to be reckoned with, and that's why nobody hardly ever mentioned her name after she was gone. Okay, so from this point forward, I am no longer a Falcon. You will never address me as such ever again. I am a Chicante. And because that was her mom's last name, now she wants to take on that name. She was like, I'm a Chicante, and you will address me as such. Okay? The ways of my father, that is old news. This is a new life, a new legacy. And so she starts to make her intentions known as far as trying to bring this war to an end with the Maronis. And so as she's talking, y'all, Johnny keeps inserting his opinion like it matters. And so when she said something about ending the confrontation with the Maronis, he was like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. Y'all, she just pull out her strap and she shoot him. She take him out. That's it. He falls to the table, y'all. He is bleeding out. She pulls out a bag of money and says, hey, this is the money that my father earned off of you guys' backs. This is the profit that he made from your hard labor. And she pours that all on the table as the blood is pooling. It keeps pooling around him and further onto the table. She throws the money out on the table and she tells them, you guys were all peons, okay? Y'all were pawns in my father's schemes, but no longer will you be ignored, overlooked, or any of that. You will be treated with respect because, hey, we all got to start somewhere. And so then the one guy that was sitting next to Johnny was like, hey, Miss Chicante, can we? Sure. And she lets them take back their money, y'all. Sophia is a force to be reckoned with. So Vic ends up taking Oz's mama to Crown Point. He ends up going over there to Calvin's spot. I thought that he was finna get ready to go back to his spot, but I was like, nah, that would have been too emotional. Now, Calvin was his homeboy. I think that's the one that Sophia ended up taking out because Oz had lied on him. So when they get there, He's getting out the car. We see loiters and all the things. And then we also see Squid. Now, we know that his parents weren't fond of Squid. And for good reason. Okay, he a thug. He out there running them streets. He running point on all the illegal things over there in Crown Point. And so he's putting her up on game. And he's trying to hurry up and sneak her into the apartments. But when they get to the end, like when she's walking into the actual apartment building, Squid looks over just in time to see Vic. So I wonder how this gonna play out. Okay. So then when he gets upstairs to Calvin's spot, when she comes in, she is immediately overwhelmed with emotion. Just that this place is reminiscent of the place that she raised her boys in, the East Side. It'll take everything from you, leave you with nothing. And so she says she doesn't like it here. But I mean, what other choice do they have at this point? Okay. You're going to have to make do. So then we see Oz. Oz returns to his girlfriend's house, or whatever she is to him, situationship girlfriend, I don't know. So he returns to her spot and he's trying to tell her to come on so we can get on the hell up out of here. Vic's got us a nice place set up in Crown Point. And I mean, it's not in tip-top shape, but I mean, it's something for now. We got to get away from Sofia and the Maronis. And so she was like, I'm tired of running. Okay. The thing that we had was working. Okay. We took care of each other. We looked out for each other. We didn't screw each other over. We had that understanding. And so now, because she doesn't want to go, Oz is pissed because he feels like she's betraying him because, he's not at the top of his game like he had promised her. He feels like she done moved on to some other big baller shot caller, but no. Okay. She just don't want to be lined in chalk. And you can't be mad at her for that. So she was like, look, I'm yours, okay? But I just feel like I'll be holding you back. And he ain't got no other choice but to respect that. But I do feel like she going to end up getting taken out, and that's really going to hurt his feelings. Now, Maroney is Sal. That's his first name. Sal is at his little hideout spot in the woods in the cabin when we hear a couple gunshots bust off. Okay, his men done got taken out because here comes Sofia walking through the door. Now he is immediately on the defense. He stands up, but she's got her strap. Okay, she's got her little piece. Sit on back down. We got some business to discuss. And so she mentions how her father always saw him as a weakling because he cared a lot for his family, but she thinks quite the opposite. Okay, that's something of value to her. And so she has come there because they have a common enemy and she wants to extinguish this common enemy. That is Oz. So she tells him 10 years ago, her driver went against her, said some bogus stuff about her, made up lies, and got rewarded instead of punished. And so because of that, now she wants to take him out because he has lied to her yet again. And not only to her, but to him. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about your wife and your son, by the way. So she says, hey, look, we should go ahead and call it a truce. I'm not a Falcone anymore. I'm going by Chicante. Okay, the Maronis and the Chicantes are going to be starting something new. We should form an alliance and we can run Gotham City. What do you say? Y'all, what he gonna say? And better question, what's going to happen to Oz? Y'all think that they're going to be able to take him out? I hope Vic is not collateral damage. So Oz finally rejoins his mom and Vic. And Vic is knocked out, y'all. He is tired. He said he done lived his life of crime today. It's time for him to clock out. He is off the clock. So he lets Vic sleep. Vic is asleep in a chair outside of the room where Oz's mom is sleeping. So Oz goes in there and he cuddles up with her and he apologizes to her and he says, I feel like I let you down. And she was like, oh, you did. You definitely did that. And so she says, oh, my son, the one with the high hopes, just like your father. Why would you bring me here? Are you trying to kill me or something? And he was like, no. Okay. She says, this is kind of like reminiscent of where I lost him. And he was like, I lost him too. And I was like, okay, who are we talking about? Are we talking about the other sons? Are we talking about your husband? Who are we talking about? So she gets upset with him because, she doesn't want to be here. This brings back all these awful memories for her and this feeling of dread and depression, all the bad things. And so she tells him to get off of her. Get off me, I said. And so he does. Now he goes out there and he starts to look around. Vic finally wakes up and Vic is asking him up because he grabbed the baseball mitt that the mom had earlier in the episode, and he says, oh, this is Jack's because Benny never played ball. Well, what happened to your brothers? Okay, what happened? Your mom said that y'all lived in a place similar to this a long time ago. And he was like, yeah, we did. We lived in a 2-story walk-up, okay? We thought it was a penthouse, but I mean, turns out it was just a dump. What happened to my brothers is sort of similar to what happened to your family. The city took them. I was like, okay, did it take them in flood waters, or was it a life of crime that took them? I need more backstory. He says the city took them. And, it was what it was. He goes over and he starts to talk about how him and his brothers, when they were younger, they just ran the city. The city was all that they had. And so as he's telling him this, he opens up this jar that looks like it's like miscellaneous items and then like straight up pennies. You know how people would be like they got their penny jar or their loose change jar. And so he opens it up and he spreads it out and he ends up coming across this button or this coin or a pendant that says something about the trolleys. And so he was like, hey, come on with me. We're finna go somewhere. So he ends up going downtown and they go to this particular spot where the old trolley station used to be. And so he says that, of course, when him and his brothers were younger, they would all go here. The city funding used to fund this place, but then, of course, the funding dried up, cash got diverted, and so this place just shut down one day. But him and his brothers still would go down there because it gave them access to the entire cities. These tunnels, it's like an underground subway station. The tunnels go everywhere in the city. And so they used to be down there just running amok, okay? Used to live it up under the tunnels. And so they go in there. He's walking around. It's pitch dark at first. And then he comes across the generator. He pulls the generator and crazy enough, it starts up. So then the lights come on for a little bit and he tells Vic, this is where they're going to set up shop for the shrooms. This is where their new business is going to be located. The base is going to be located here. All right. This is where our operations is going to be. And just like that, y'all, and I don't know if this is an omen or not, but the lights go back out. The generator goes off. But hey, he has all of these bright ideas, y'all. Now, some of them don't come to fruition like his mom, tells him, but it's Oz. What can you do? And that's the way the episode ends, y'all. It was pretty good. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. Y'all, I love y'all, okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful, safe weekend. Y'all, please stay safe out there, all right? Because the world is crazy. And that's all I have for now. So until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.